did really bad with humans this morning on stream after spending a lot of time prepping. Okay, we can keep this. I think I put back the priest. It's kind of close. The addition of Watery Mines seems very medium in my opinion. I've heard some people have this. Some people have said that too. Has anybody been watching today and yesterday? How do you guys feel about a Wandering Mind? Because I think it's been very good. When I've been playing it, I've been really impressed by it. I think it fits in the deck really well, and like actually like lets you play. I can't believe I wasn't F6 there. Actually, like lets you play 80 cards. It seems really good. Okay, cool. Yeah. I don't know. It's like it's a good role player in this deck, right? It's not like a new crazy card that goes in every single shell, but it feels really good in this shell, and like I think like as like a deck building concept, like allows you to play 80 cards. You know. I don't like this version of Ephemerate Reanimator though. I think it's felt better to me so far. I don't know. I've had a small sample size, but obviously, like our consistency is diminished, right? Our consistency is diminished, but it doesn't feel like it's that diminished, and like the ability to just like outgrind your opponents has felt really increased, and also just like beat graveyard hate by just casting this card a bunch. But, you know, obviously, you know, to some extent, we're just playtesting it, right? To some extent, we're just playtesting it still. And so I'm, of course, open to criticism and open to feedback. But I just want, if you're gonna, you know, comment, maybe just expand the argument a little bit. I don't know. Don't forget to turn your deck list for Vegas soon. How soon do I have to have it in? I did totally forget that that's something I needed to do. I kind of want to Prismatic Ending this, so they might think that this is a good name. Probably not smart. I don't know my overall record. I mean, but also like the overall record, it wouldn't be like even like very good data, right? Because this is like draft 1 of this version compared to the 80 card version, which I probably have like 200 matches with that deck. You know what I mean? I don't feel like the data would be very good. Friday 9 a.m. Okay, cool. So I got time. I'm gonna play the Wandering Mind here. Yeah, I'm playing Rakdos in Vegas. I'm gonna playing Rakdos all day tomorrow, I think. Three mana is fair for one of mine. Feels expensive. Carries power level of other 3 mana cards. I mean, that's a good argument. But I think this felt pretty good. It's just like this card is like for those of you who have been watching this deck, right? For those of you who have been watching this deck, you've seen how good Mulldrifter is in this deck, where like it gives you the ability to like filter through your deck. It gives you the ability to, you know, outgrind your opponents, especially when they like mulligan for graveyard hate or they just play graveyard hate. When you just play a Mulldrifter or you play a Wandering Mind, it's really good. Wandering Mind is better than Mulldrifter on turn 3, which is super important. It's insane with Ephemerate, just like Mulldrifter is. And it's also like powers up Priest of Fell Rites in the deck too. I think it does a lot that's good. And so it's like I think a lot of players would have had the same idea about Mulldrifter in this deck, right? Take their rights, I guess. I think Mulldrifter is like, it's like also very easy to say Mulldrifter is not a good card in this deck without seeing it in action. It's a little dirtily, and I think that's like a super fair evaluation to have, but that hasn't been like the actual experience of playing the card at all. You know what I mean? And then it's like in this 80 card version, in this Yorion version, you have Wandering Mind and Mulldrifter in an 80 card deck, as opposed to just like 3 Mulldrifter in a 60 card deck. and it's like you just get to do this more often. So at least that's the argument for it. Of course, there are good arguments against it, right? You have to splash a color. It is pretty dirtily. Playing Yorion that makes your deck less consistent. Obviously, these are all like totally fair arguments, but this is the case for Wandering Mind that I'm presenting to you. Yeah, for sure. Like reducing consistency in your Reanimator deck is definitely a big cost. But just like we've seen this game, Wandering Mind increases the consistency. You know, it doesn't increase it as much as like playing Yorion does, but you know, in Magic we talk about this a lot. In Magic, like you are always, when you're building your decks, you are always able to make trades in power level for trades in consistency, right? That's always a deck building decision that you have, consistency for power level. And it is okay to sacrifice consistency if the power level is like a huge increase, right? Yeah, it might also just be a meta call overall. That's a really good point. Okay, so my opponent did play Urza Saga, so I'm going to bring the Stony Silence in. Usually got Grief in these matchups. I think I'll play the first Wear Tear too. Yeah, this deck is way more of a mid-range deck than a combo deck like the other version. Would Wandering Mind be an option for Grixis control, Grixis Death Shadow? I don't think so. I have been trying to build like a Grixis Unearth deck with Wandering Mind. I'm like really stuck. I'm really stuck with that one. That one's been tough. Humans didn't go so well. I was doing pretty well with it last night. I think I was like 2-1, 2-1, 3-2, 4-1 with my like humans last night. And so I was so pumped to come into today. Maybe and play some humans. Okay, I wasn't expecting Leyland of the Void when they have Urza Saga. We can answer this with our one copy of Wear Tear that we brought in, and we can answer it with they're also playing Raven's Crime, really weird. And we can answer with our Teferi Time Ravelers, but they get to replay it, you know. So I don't know. I mean, obviously our sample size wasn't huge today, but we're kind of getting our teeth kicked in when playing humans. In a lot of the same ways like the humans has been like losing in this format so far too. Oh yeah, that's right. And we can ending X = 4. That is true. Wandering Mind's probably the best draw. Maybe Teferi. Actually, I'm gonna just put Yorion into my hand here, and then discard Yorion to Liliana, and then go Mulldrifter Ephemerate next turn. Seems like the way to win. Oh man. Okay, I guess I mean, should I side out the Stony Silences? They do have Urza Saga. Total Noob House Wandering Mind, a modern playable card. We just talked this. I just did like the whole case for Wandering Mind. But it's you know, it's very similar to Mulldrifter in this deck too. I don't know. There's a lot going on. We just talked it like to death. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Well, drawing fetch lands. I mean, our deck's full of fetch lands. They're not very good against the Ashiok. But I will also say that I think in general, like this was like super true with Hamlet Vanguard today, when I was Hamlet Vanguarding people and like it was like a 3-mana 7/7/9/9, and people were like, I don't know about this Hamlet Vanguard card. I think that in general the Magic community has a bias towards old cards as opposed to new cards. You know what I mean? Like I think in general the Magic community has a bias that old cards are better. When evaluating new cards, they're plussing. They tend to overrate old cards and they tend to underrate new cards. In my experience, that's just like a general, thing I've noticed when it comes to watching people evaluate cards. Yeah. I also don't know why they did all this either. I mean, I could bounce this Leyland of the Void. I just have to bounce the Leyline. Oh, they needled the Teferi. I didn't realize that they did that. I did see it last game. Oops, sorry. I thought they named the other Teferi again. But getting this in play is still pretty good, because as soon as I draw an ending, I get to ending the needle, then immediately activate the Teferi. Yeah, I wanted to bounce the Mulldrifter. Currently, our new Hunter Hearts cards too good compared to old cards here. I feel like, are we having the same conversation? Because like I'm just talking about how Magic players tend to evaluate cards. I'm not talking about Modern Horizons 2's power level. But yeah, the average Modern Horizons 2 card is stronger than the average Magic card. Kind of full stop. But just in general, like, you know, especially like this is more relevant now that we're not in Modern Horizons 2 spoiler season. It's more relevant in with all these standard sets. Players generally have a bias towards old cards. I think I'll just sacrifice the Solitude here. We just have so many ways to like flicker the Mulldrifter. Or I guess not so many. We have some ways. Including the Teferi that's on board if we end up drawing a Prismatic Ending. Yeah. I'm just saying, in general, players when evaluate. Sorry, I feel like I can't just keep repeating myself every time someone tunes in. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we drew the one wear tear. But just to reiterate, final point: when players, Magic players, tend to have a bias towards old cards. Okay, I'm over it. What a card, huh? What is Stony Silence? So my opponent's playing Jund and they're playing Urza Saga. That's what we saw game 1. Usually Jund Saga, all their graveyard hate is Nile Spellbomb. That's usually the beginning and the end of their graveyard hate is like 3 copies of Nile Spellbomb. So usually I like to bring in Stony Silence as 2 mana. Your graveyard hate doesn't work. In that matchup, you also stop their Baubles, which is less relevant. Stop their Shadow Spear. But it's just 2 mana. Your graveyard hate doesn't work. In this game, my opponent showed me Leyline of the Void and Ashiok. So I, you know, maybe misread the situation a little bit, but that was the thought process. Yeah, the rack sure is in play, huh? Okay, so Persisting Wandering Mind is not that good, because it becomes a 1-0. That's okay, I think we're gonna find a way to win. Any hardcasters in the chat? Yeah, Wandering Mind dies when you persist it. But also, the Priest of Fell Rites is a card that's usually kind of medium, but is really powered up in a deck with 4 Wandering Mind, 4 Mulldrifter. Because Priest of Fell Rites on Wandering Mind or Mulldrifter is pretty good, I found. Especially Mulldrifter, just that curve, too. I've never, you know, I'm not someone that enjoys having fun. I like to win. I like to yell at my Twitch chat. That's what I think fun is. Yelling at my Twitch chat. And for some reason, that's also fun to them. I'm going to keep this hand. It obviously needs a little bit of help, but I'm going to keep. Is there a conflict of interest in trying to trophy race while also showcase multiple decks? I mean, like a little bit, but I also lose my mind of boredom if I just play the same deck every single day. So there's a conflict of interest in losing my mind of boredom and trophy racing, which requires playing a ton of Magic. Yeah, I've played Royal Signs with Arcanist in the past. Get the flashback Archmage's Charm. You'll be doing Leagues in Vegas? No, I will be enjoying myself or, you know, trying to. They bounce the Saga. I'm gonna get a blue source. I guess I'll just get the Fountain because I already have the red source. And then probably basic planes here. Teferi plus, so we can bounce the Saga next turn, or Dryad potentially. I leave for Vegas Friday morning, so I am cutting it kind of close. It'll be fun. Guess I'm gonna bounce the Azusa. Azusa was not too good for us here, but this is best draw possible, so I guess that'll do then. I guess Mending is Mending is also as good. Could I pay for other people's deck techs? I'd like to get back to the channel. It's yeah, you can do that, but it's, I don't know, it ends up being a bit much, you know what I mean? I guess, how do I articulate this? Like, I don't want to do, I don't, you have to find someone specifically that wants a deck tech, right, and pay for it. I don't want to be here having to, like, filter through the comments for you or find somebody that wants a deck tech. You got to work it out yourself. But if you do that, then I'm happy to, of course, do that. Should we have Liliana the Veil in the deck? Nice interaction with the deck. I think in this version that draws so many cards, you know, I'm not sure that this is a good Liliana deck, where you're like discarding the cards that you're drawing. I guess I'll just main phase the Persist. Obviously, I could Persist after they make a token, but that shouldn't really be that relevant. We could draw a land to Ephemerate and Archon and win. But we should be good with double Solitude up. But also double black is not... Double black on turn 3 is not as easy with the red splash 2. Dream deck included some written sideboard notes, so I critique that as well. Yeah, but it's, I'm not going to critique your sideboard plan for every single matchup. It's just too time consuming. But if for some, yeah, I can do a couple. No, I wasn't running Lily. I don't think Liliana is good in the shell. Like, it's not as good of a 3-mana play. It's not as good of a 3-drop as Teferi, Wandering Mind, or Mulldrifter, in my opinion. You also you don't have that many good cards to discard in the deck. It's not like your deck always has good cards to discard. I'm gonna cut the Teferis. Trim on Mulldrifter. Yeah, probably go minus. This is probably a matchup where we trim on the card draw spells a little bit, become a bit leaner. I like the plan of stuffing as many MH1 2 cards in deck and going from there. It's a pretty common plan. I think I'll mulligan this hand. Okay, keep this, put back the... I can keep both. I guess I'll put back an Ephemerate because I might just need to use the second Unmarked Grave for rights this game. And if my Thoughtseize slows them down a lot, then maybe we have time to do that, right? Thoughts on Spirits? Spirits has potential. I won't say that it doesn't. The Bog. Well, I think I have to take that Summoner's Pact. The Bog is good. The Bog is good to know about. Like, I just, but it's very good against my hand of double Unmarked Grave. So why don't I try to bait a Bog here? I know if they have a bounce land, if they draw a bounce land, then they are able to bounce the Bog, but I think this makes sense to me. And just hope they don't, find a bounce land anytime soon. Okay, so here I can Unmarked Grave for Mending, probably. I can also put Yorion in my hand, which is a white card, so I can Solitude Ephemerate. I think I'm going to do that this turn. Probably want to get a Swamp here. You only have 3 mana? Yeah. Put Yorion into my hand. I don't know. I'm confused by the... I'm sure I said something wrong, but I don't know where the confusion is. Even a write-up specialist with white-black or white-black priest in this deck. This is a pretty new deck list. I put it together yesterday, I think, maybe the day before yesterday. Still pretty new one. So I don't currently have any write-ups yet, but maybe at some point, maybe after Vegas. That's a great draw. It's like the best draw in the deck, even. And they drew a Sun Home, which is like the worst draw in the deck. Sometimes things work out, which we definitely needed some things to work out after a rough morning, huh? Are the new slow lands that bad? They're not that good, I'll tell you that. Draw step Ephemerate. Discard Forest. Guess we... If I Yorion my Archon, we put them to 4, we draw a card. But then we lose our white card for Solitude, so... It's probably just better to hold up the Solitude. Arcane Secret Lair. Actually, pretty excited about that. I really liked Arcane. Twice in one league. I can't remember what they were playing. It's also true. So I'm gonna mulligan this. No, like it's not done yet. They've been released in like 3 episode installments, which I've really liked that release schedule. It's like a kind of a blend of like it's a blend of you know, like being able to binge the whole season at once or just 1 episode a week. Like neither release schedule is perfect, and I think it's really cool to release it in this way. So I liked it a lot. I would really recommend it. The first 6 episodes have been great. They've really felt like 2 movies. It's felt like a movie trilogy so far. You know what I mean? Yeah, it would be cool if like Wizards, you know, put like, you know, a similar amount of effort into a movie. I don't necessarily have any hopes or expectations that would ever happen, but I would like for it to happen for sure. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna cast Mending here into the Sentinel. We can Solitude Ephemerate and not have to pay for Sentinel because we can exile the Sentinel before we Ephemerate. The writer had 0 TV experience. Yeah, I mean it definitely feels like 2 movies so far. It's felt like it's just a trilogy, like a really like well thought out trilogy. So I would recommend it if you're looking for something to watch. I guess I should just go Unmarked Grave and pay for Sentinel here. Best one for Sentinel besides Hammer? Maybe the Fiddlebender deck. I've been really liking that deck a lot. I haven't played it this week. Play Saga. So I think I'm gonna exile that in response to ETB. That is true. The trailers for MTG lately have been really good. I agree with that. Wow, we can even pay. Great draw. Should I just main phase the Ephemerate? With them sacking the Sentinel, I'm not going to. Let's play around like Dispatch or something. I guess we saw that they had Aether Spellbomb, actually. We saw that last time we played against them today, so they might be trying to Spellbomb the Archon, and we can Ephemerate in response. Uh-oh. They're making a Saga token. Is this deck a convoluted cap to trick people to play in Vegas? I mean, I think any deck with a new card, like would be a bad plan, since it's really hard to get a hold of the new cards here. But I've been really liking this deck, you know. I'm showing it off. I think it feels good. I think it looks good. It's a little early. I know the big question everybody wants to know, is it better than Esper? And it is too early to tell, but I think that it is. It's close. It's always so hard to evaluate Yorion decks, because like your draws like are like so much more high variance than 60 card. We've got one card left in hand, so if it's Metallic Rebuke, we're in trouble. It's Thought Monitor, so it could be a Metallic Rebuke. The Decklist deadline is like right as the tournament starts. I'm gonna submit my list tonight, I think, though, just to have it done. Got a lot to do tonight. Gonna discuss leaving Ephemerate versus Hardcast Solitude. We played against this opponent earlier. We knew they have Aether Spellbomb in their deck, and so I want to play around Aether Spellbomb by leaving up the Ephemerate here. Yeah, I'm gonna play the Rock deck. I'd love to find another Ephemerate off the Wandering Mind. Find Rites, Mending. Let's take the Mending. Not in great shape, to be honest. We're in okay shape. How do I evaluate deck to pick? I mean, it's like, yeah, there's not a, yeah, I don't. It's a complicated question, right? It's a really complicated question. They had no reason to go for a spell bomb. Well, I get to attack and trigger the Archon. If they don't. Jeez. So I have to trade an Archon for a Construct. I think I just lose. I go up to 11 when I'm mending here. How far away from my hard casting this? Oh no! Oh no. What can we even draw? I don't know. Like it's you know, I play so much Magic that like I'm usually in tune enough with the format to know what my best deck is, and it's my process is not like a super reasonable one where my process is to play like 60 hours of Magic a week and then figure out what the best deck is for the metagame. Wait, why did they main face pop the Relic? Okay, I mean, I still don't think we could win. Well, I think putting Yorion in Reanimator was bad before they printed Wandering Mind. I know I've been saying it the whole time. Take away Mending? I don't think that's that relevant. Okay, so now if I draw Persist, I can actually maybe get out of this. I'm not even sure that it's enough. Okay, I think this is not quite enough. I do get Archon in play again. It's just not good enough, right? Especially because I have to lose 3. I could draw Solitude maybe. So I go back to 7. If I draw Solitude, I don't think it's enough. They sack this. Solitude here, block here. No, it is enough. They sacked Urza. No, the Persist was 1 card down! Ah. Damn it. 1 card down. So freaking close. How did we lose that game? We got to Archon so many times. Good game for sure. Got the Griefs here. Trim a Mulldrifter, trim a Teferi. Trim a Mind probably. Okay, the Island Priest is kind of awkward, but obviously you can't mulligan this. I'm gonna keep 7. I'm starting to get into the habit of not F6ing against any deck, but especially against Urza Saga decks. I think I get Hallowed Fountain. No, I want to get another black source. We have blue in hand, so I can probably get Godless Shrine. I don't play Priest here. This way, next turn if they play like a Relic, I can go ending the Relic, Unmarked Grave, get an Archon in play. I think regular Reanimator is more consistent than 4-color version with 80 cards. Seems like there's a lot of bad draws. Yeah, obviously it's more consistent. Yeah, it's more consistent. But, you know, in Magic you get to sacrifice consistency for power level. The power level here is a lot higher. I think it's worth the trade-off. I don't think it's that much less consistent, and I think it is a lot more powerful here. Do I want to Priest the Mulldrifter? I think Priesting the Mulldrifter is fine. Could maybe have waited, but then if they have like Portable Hole, it's just so much worse. Magus with the 5-pack. Thank you so much. Got anything you want to say, Magus? Got a gifted sub, make sure to thank him. How was Hamlet? Hamlet was really good in my testing, and I think it was good today too. It's at least I think it's a super powerful 3-drop, right? Okay, I think I'm gonna go for Stony Silence here. Have I tried the Werewolf? I haven't, no. Humans has a ton of good options with the 3-drop slot. Finding out the best ones is definitely difficult. Alright, so let's just resolve the Unmarked Grave, I guess. Why didn't we just jam Unmarked Grave for an Archon and Priest it? Well, my opponent had 2 mana up. If they have Metallic Rebuke, that just didn't work. So I was playing around Metallic Rebuke by evoking Mulldrifter first. Here, I have a second Persist. So if they have another Metallic Rebuke or Dispute, I get to Persist again. But playing around counter spells. Yeah, it is of course important to know that this deck is still a work in progress, but I've liked it a lot so far. Why is Watery Mire looks at 6 cards? Yeah, it looks at 6 cards. You get to Priest to Fell Rites it. It digs you for your combo pieces. It's really, really insane with Ephemerate. It's like what you get to 1 mana dig through time for 12 cards with Ephemerate. It's you know, very similar to Mulldrifter, where like in Sideboard games your opponents are like sitting on Rest in Peace and you just get to just cast Wandering Mind, and there's like often not much your opponent can do about that. So what's the play this turn? I guess the play is Teferi plus, and then I can. Oh my gosh, sorry. I should have left up blue mana, and I was gonna leave up either Ending or Mending, but I didn't, so I'll just Ending this now. It's fine. Yeah, it's also a 2/1 flyer. Yeah, that's definitely like you could just start beating your opponent down. So it's not like that card that's just worth nothing. Okay, going to game 3. I think I like our sideboard plan. They have so many counter spells. They have Dispute, a Rebuke, and Counterspell. Isn't Grief good here? I don't think so. I mean, obviously it's good if you Grief Ephemerate, but I think like the way like you have to understand that Thoughtseize, Grief Teferi, Thoughtseize, Grief Teferi, Stony Silence, Wear Tear, Prismatic Ending. These are your answers to Graveyard Hate, right? And making sure post board that you're swapping in and out your answers to Graveyard Hate for the relevant matchup is really important. So Grief is an answer to counter magic, and which they do have, but it's more so like an answer to Endurance, and it's an answer to like decks that are only or mostly interacting with counter magic. This deck is playing like mostly artifact based Graveyard Hate. They're playing Urza Saga, they're playing a lot of ways to, they're playing Relic, they're playing maybe Soul Guide Lantern 2. So like having Wear Tear and Stony Silence is the most important against them. Like we can play around counter spells. And the reality is, it's like in this deck, your interaction needs to be able to beat their graveyard hate, and you just can't play all the interactive spells, despite playing Yorion in your deck. Isn't Teferi good against that many counter spells? It's worse on the draw, you know. Obviously, these cards have high upside, but it's more important that we have access to Stony Silence and Wear Tear, and you can't just play all of the interaction and then still have a density of like combo pieces for your combo deck too. You just can't have it all. It's Sword of the Meek. Just Stony Silence them. Yeah, Grief is also getting banned soon. That's pretty good. We had a really bad run with Murktide. Okay, so I think I'm just going to cast the Wandering Mind, so I get to attack Teferi next turn. I get to possibly dig for a Persist. Wear Tear seems pretty good, though. I don't think we need the Unmarked Grave because we have Mending plus Archon. Ready for Vegas? Not really. I need to pack. I need to find my 4th copy of Unholy Heat. I'm almost ready, though. Apparently, yeah, we're joking because we had an opponent earlier today who commented that they saw a leak on Reddit that there was going to be a Grief ban because of Grief Ephemerate, which was just, like, the funniest shit ever. Yeah, I've had roughly 1,000 offers for a copy of Unholy Heat. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But thank you, sir. I appreciate everybody who's offered, of course. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play around Metallic Rebuke by killing the Construct and then casting the Stony Silence. Their hand is Thopter Foundry, 3 mystery cards. Passing it back. I think I'm just gonna play my land, cast Mending. Discard Archon, discard lands. I don't have a second basic planes, but I can Unmarked Grave for Rites. And then I can block one of their creatures and then Ephemerate. I do go down to 4 life to do that, though. Assuming that, I guess I'm only going to go down to 7. Oh, no, I go down to 4, sorry. So let's go block. Probably getting Fountain. It's better to chump. I think it's better to block an Ephemerate. You get to double dig through time. If they counter this, then we get to like probably resolve Rites. If they have 2 counter spells up, then you know good beats, right? Which I guess they just do. I guess they just have 2 counter spells up. Whatever, I can't beat it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they don't. I can't believe they don't. Yeah, like, I thought for sure they had Rebuke. Like, they were, like, really telegraphing it. I don't know why they countered the Ephemerate then. Would it have been better to Unmarked Grave for Priest to play around counters? I was at 3. Priest costs you 3 life. I would be dead. Right? No, I guess I go to 1. Well, I would have been dead if they had played any artifact to grow their Construct, though, right? And their Smith. Yeah, this was better. I have been liking this version more than Esper so far. It's like way grindier and like a little bit less consistent. And I think like the uptick in power level is worth the decrease in consistency. And I did not think that that'll be the case before Mind is printed. Should have went play land player and Spell Pierce. I guess, but like, how could they possibly be playing Dispute, Spell Pierce, Counterspell, and Rebuke, right? There's no way that's the case. Surely. He's like, this is not the... you're at the wrong house. I don't... I don't know. Something about that, I'm not really sure. How could Aspiring Spike fail us? He was supposed to save the format, not let there be no coverage in Vegas. I thought he was the hero, but he was really the villain all along. Which I've been telling you guys, I've been the villain, but nobody listens to me. You gonna stream your Vegas games? Apparently Eyelash is streaming her Vegas games. Which is, I appreciate the dedication. It would be pretty fun. It would definitely be fun to stream them, to be honest. But I'm just gonna enjoy the tournament instead of doing that. Yeah. Are you allowed to like? Yeah, I guess like that's a question. Like, is that even like is that against their rules to do? Okay, well, it would be fun for sure. When have rules ever stopped us before, huh, chat? Maybe I should just go for ending here. Am I serious? Am I allowed to stream? Well, I'm serious that I think it would be fun. I'm not serious that I know that I'm allowed to do that. I'm not going to do it either way. Ooh, Allosaurus Rider got a trophy. Yeah, I'm serious. Definitely serious. It would be fun. Not serious if you probably can't. It would make sense for you to not be able to. You might have a Dr. Disrespect moment, right? Just forget your streams on and go into the bathroom. Well, I don't think he forgot, to be honest. Oh yeah, you can't use your phone. I don't know. It would just be something to figure out. It might be fine. It might not be. You just have to ask. I know that Eyelash said that she's going to do it. You'll have to... I mean, I don't know if she's, like, asked anybody if it's okay. GoPro to your helmet like airsoft videos? Yeah. Yeah, it's also true, like, I'm sure, like, a lot of people, like, yeah, wouldn't be, like, that happy to be playing against someone who's streaming their matches. Like, it just, like, probably be a little uncomfortable, right? So if you're gonna do it, you should probably ask first every time. Yeah, is there any rule that says dogs can't play Magic the Gathering? I don't know. At the very least, it would be polite, you know? Like, maybe you don't legally have to ask your opponent if you can record them, but you want to make sure that everybody's comfortable, of course. You want to make sure that everybody's comfortable and having a good time. Which is why I like to start every single match of Magic with a soft kiss on the lips to my opponent. Say good luck, have fun. Through the masks now, of course. Through the masks now that we have to be mindful of COVID. Yeah, it's just good sportsmanship. Yeah, you did miss it, Seeker. Hemestro Sultai Valkyrie. Somewhat recently. I feel like I don't know, just like having like the 5 mana. You know, like Teferi is a 5 mana planeswalker that effectively costs 3 mana a lot of times. Like the 5 mana planeswalkers just haven't felt that well positioned, even if it is really good. I wonder what kissing through a mask is like. It's probably pretty weird. Maybe when Esther grants me my first kiss, I'll find out. Please, Esther, grant me a first kiss. Keep this. See customers making out through masks. That's so weird. Yeah. People are so weird. I guess I'll Solitude, pitch Stony Silence. Stony Silence is a hedge against graveyard hates. But I think I'd rather not get hit by Ragavan. Must wait until, yeah, no kisses until Golos is unbanned. That's right. That's what you said. That's so funny. Spell Snare. Wow. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay, we need to draw a land. Yeah, no kiss November. How could Yorion do this to us? Not giving us a land. Inuit kiss, interesting. That's how Athena kisses. Well, I mean, if my opponent is just not doing anything, we've got some time. Got the Solitude up too. Land. Please. Okay. Alright, so my mind just started wandering, huh? Maybe I'll evoke Mulldrifter this time because I want to find land. Probably doesn't resolve, right? Ooh. This is why these cards are just so good, you know, and like when your opponent's holding up all these counter spells and interaction for your combo, you just get to start drawing cards. Maybe Priest of Felright's Mulldrifter next turn if I draw another land. Yeah, the missing land drops has also been huge. Clothis cosplay in Vegas? Well, I don't know. It's like, I mean, how would I even choose between my Cyberpunk Clothis cosplay and then like the regular like standard one, and then, you know, I also have the steampunk Clothis version too. It's just I have too many different Clothis variants that I don't think I could really choose in time. The noir Clothis. Okay. Yeah, I'll go for a persisted Mulldrifter here. Yeah, Cowboy Clothis. That one's a good one. Bring it as a cosplay. No, I feel like I don't know. I'm not gonna try to peacock and wear a costume and get all this attention. You know, I'm a very simple, humble man. Ooh. Well, Jace is pretty scary. I'm gonna Unburial Rites a Solitude though. Or sorry, Mulldrifter. And I think I'll just main phase Ephemerate too. Definitely ahead in cards, ahead in mana. They also missed a land after that Brainstorm too. I've worn a suit for the stream a few times, usually when I'm like nervous. I don't know. I think I'm gonna wear this shirt for the first day of Vegas, actually. I like this. This shirt's really comfy. Oh man. Okay, that's bad. Well, we're not that far away from hardcasting Archons. So what's the play here? Just make them pop the relic by tapping one of these? I can also go... Yeah, I think I'll go Teferi first. And then I can choose between plussing Teferi. Yeah, I think I'll plus Teferi, and they probably want to pop the relic in response, right? Okay, maybe they don't. Because we can instant speed rights if they pop the relic, but I guess they'll be, you know, aware of that. So we'll cast the Wandering Mind and probably just ending the Channeler, unless I draw Ephemerate. Teferi ending Jace. You could do that too. I'll take the Mending here. Yeah, if we do that though, our Teferi is pretty vulnerable. We can attack Jace with the Wandering Mind. This is way more mana efficient too. And by hitting up the Vegas strip club, I'm gonna doing a lot of gambling. If Esther wants to go to strip clubs, we can go to strip clubs. Heat was so bad for us there. Jeez. Oh, golly. Bounce Chandler, Prismatic on Jace seems decent. Yeah, that was probably better. I was just thinking that, like, I don't know. This was maybe just like the presence of Heat was probably good to play around. I do still have Yorion. I might just Yorion this turn, although they do have counterspell mana up. I've never played at a casino before. I feel like I just want to play Texas Hold'em. That's always what I wanted to do. All right, so I think I just make them pop their relic. Oh, they're gonna use counterspell instead? Interesting. So I guess I'm gonna cast the Mending. We can just hardcast the Archon next turn, so I don't think I'm supposed to discard it into the relic. Andre for the 15, appreciate you. Let's got 3 cards. Mine's been sculpted. Second Channeler. It's hard to imagine my opponent doesn't have any counter magic here, of course. Heat the Priest. Canal and Consider into the yard. If I don't have the extra, I can't Unearth Priest and Prismatic Ending Jace this turn. But I can go Unearth Priest, they'll sack Relic. You think I just YOLO Archon? I mean, they're like 100% to have a counterspell in hand, right? Okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's go, let's go Exile Priest. And if they let this go, we'll Prismatic Ending. Okay, they didn't let it go. Okay, so here, I now have the option to put Yorion into my hand or ending a Channeler. I think I should just put Yorion into my hand. Because if I draw land, I can do ending plus Yorion next turn. And they also, like, you know, like, this is also pressure against the Jace, which is a problem for them. Oh, Charm, jeez. You died to Bolt. They don't currently have Delirium. I died to, like, Delirium plus Bolt, but, I mean, that's kind of, isn't that just, like, fine to die to that? This is, like, way better than just running the Archon into the Charm with the Relic still in play. This is 1,000 times better than that. 5 cards in their hand. So many. Wait. Okay, yeah, they've said, they say I'm stupid in chat. No, they don't need to be so hard on themselves, but yeah, they missed out on a few points of damage there. What do you think about Scrap Troll and Fiddlebender? I think it's a bit win more. It's like only good when you have an active Fiddlebender, which are like usually games that you're winning anyways. Good to know about Blood Moon for game 3, I guess. I mean, my line here is to go attack Jace, Prismatic Ending, Blood Moon, cast Yorion, and lose to a counterspell. Oh, I guess I go to 1, not 0. Tix, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. But they just definitely have one. This is just the only line I have. But I'm not dead on board. I'm just dead and bored. Okay, so we're dead to a Bolt, dead to a Ragavan, dead to a Counterspell probably. And they've surveilled so much, it's hard for them to have nothing. But if they have like all like Flusterstorms, Disputes, Relics, okay, Heat and Upkeep, that does not get me. They kept a card on top though, so. Okay, Iteration, that is like the one card they could like reasonably keep on top that doesn't actually kill me. And they put Iteration, Visions of the Yard. Go to Vegas looking to sell my cards and keep only one deck. 4-color control, blue-white or blue-red Murktide. Both, I would say, are like somewhat reasonable. I don't think any one of them necessarily is like super in it for the long term. Although I would say, I guess probably not. Probably blue-white or Ragavan just because 4-color is really bad in combo metagames. Alright, game 3 on the play. I think seeing 2 relics, I probably want more Stony Silences. Could probably trim a Priest. We gotta play 3 on the play. You can always pitch to Solitude too. Well, I'm keeping this. We saw Blood Moon, so I guess I am interested in getting Plains Island here and just being like a little cold to like me drawing Wandering Mind if I don't draw enough land. No, Emissary is not that good against them. They have Jace and Unholy Heat. No wear tear for Blood Moon? Nah, you can't really afford it, I think. Okay, there's a white source for a red source for Wandering Mind. Now, do I Solitude this right away? I think I probably do. Yeah, Stony also stops. Stony also stops Bobble, but yeah, but Stony's just so important to stop the relic. You know what I mean? You guys think they have Spell Pierce? They also have Spell Snare in their deck. I think I'm just gonna put Yorion into my hand. Yeah, they could be Consider. Yeah, I think I just don't think it's getting much better than this. It's like obviously like probably not resolving. I can't believe I almost didn't cast this. They can have Force of Negation. They obviously have Force in their deck if they're casting this now. Yes! Let's go. I mean, this is not the end of the game. This does still die to Unholy Heat, but it's like definitely step 1. Yeah, we can just fetch basics against Blood Moon. Awesome. Please don't have Unholy Heat. They do have Delirium. They don't have the Heat. Let's freaking go! Let's freaking go. Oh my gosh, opponent. I can't believe you let me attack. Okay, well, I guess we'll take it. I don't know what to say. What a good draw, too. I guess I should Wandering Mind first. Opponent's been making a few little missteps. Does it still count as a 4-0? Yeah, your opponents are allowed to make mistakes. Like they were maybe thinking about Ephemerate somehow, and they like super overthought it. If that's the case. How's Vegas testing going? I'm settled on red black, I think, but this is kind of like me testing for after Vegas. If me making mistakes and losing matches counts as not a 5-0, then my opponent's making a mistake and me winning counts as a 5-0. But yeah, it better to mine first in case you draw a Prismatic Ending, and then like it's a bit awkward because they just have perfect info about your ending. Well, that's a good one, huh? And then it's also better to mine first for Ephemerate because you might cast that, but you probably would rather cast Ending anyways, so they can't crack the relic. Okay, let's get a trophy prediction going. Trophy number 5. We really need it. We really need trophy 5. Oh, you're making a joke about the... Yeah, I see. Well, I'm going to mulligan this hands. We did beat Tron already, right? No, we lost to Tron. Tron is not a very good matchup, and I think it gets worse when you add Yorion. I'm going to keep, though. I'll put back the second ending. This hand's not too bad. And they might not be Tron, but probably are. No, I just said Hollow Knight is really high on my list of games to play. I also last year played Ori and the Will of the Wisps, or maybe that was earlier this year. But I played that game, and I really liked it. But I've never played Blind Forest, which is the first one. So I might play that. I didn't even know that Blind Forest existed when I played Will of the Wisps. But I really like that game. And I've heard some people say the first one's better too. The music in that game is so good. Yeah, net decking Fiddlebender. That would be nice. Okay, not Tron. That is a W. Or like, it's a small W. Wooded Foothills. Are they playing Niv? You guys remember when you could just never exile Utopia Sprawl? Bob with another 5-pack? It's a lot of 5-packs today, huh? Thank you, buddy. If you got a gifted sub, make sure you thank Bob. I say thanks, Bob. Yeah, it could be weird Enchantress, yeah. Always a possibility. Hey Zach, how's it going? Alright, would a Unmarked Grave mind one? No! No! Okay, that's our first brick off Wandering Mind, and I think today for sure. Maybe on the stream too? Yeah, I think it's 9% to brick. Less if you have a fetched. Yeah, not a good time to brick, huh? Not a good time to brick. Yeah, I think we're playing against Niv, though, which is probably a fine matchup. Kaya's Guile's a problem, I guess. General Rockerick. A card I love, of course. Not necessarily that big of a problem, though. I was kind of hoping they killed the Wandering Mind so I could rebuy it. I'm just going to attack with both, try to kill the Ren here. I can't hardcast the Grief either. This is a plains, not a swamp. I think I'll pitch rights here. Of all different decks today, awesome. Glad to hear it. 2 decays. They can't cast both next turn. I just take the Ren. I could have taken both decays, I guess. That could have been maybe better. But I think 17 months. I'm not even like that worried about the decays. It's gonna be fine. The draw for turn was Utopia Sprawl, which still doesn't let them double decay. Gloom, think of it 2 months. Appreciate you. I believe you can fire as a Rockerick. Taking 3 down to 13. And then they main phase decay the Wandering Mind, which I'm really happy with, so I can priest it and get the ball rolling a bit. Oh, Okay, so I think pretty easy turn. I get back Wandering Mind, go down to 10, see what we find. We find Unmarked Grave, which is the card I want. Now it's kind of a difficult decision between using Unmarked Grave to get the Archon in the yard or just casting Yorion. I think I'll just cast the Yorion. I only have one black source at the moment, but Yorion, like, they just have, like, no good attacks. They don't have an answer that we know about. We get to flicker this. Another hard choice. I guess I have 2 reanimation spells already, so I'll take the Mending. And the Mending maybe finds me my black source. No, we're talking about can you kill fire? Can you kill Rockerick? Or can you ice or fire Rockerick with Fire Ice? I know it doesn't trigger it, but you can kill it or tap it with it, I think. I know that it doesn't trigger it. Okay, Giganta into the hand. I was worried that they top deck Kaya's Guile. They drew Prismatic Ending. If I draw a black source, I get Archon in play. I think I should just Mending here. It's kind of close. Cool. Not too shabby. All right, Kaya's Guile. I guess it doesn't even do it. I don't have to sack the Archon. They'll decay my Wandering Mind, which I think is okay. Oh, right, this has protection from monocolored. Sorry, I thought for some reason it had protection. Yeah, you're right. You can't. You cannot fire to kill this. Yeah, sorry. They started casting that really fast. I got kind of nervous. They're dead on board. I haven't conceded yet. Going to game 2, though. Alright, up a game. Their main source of graveyard hate, I believe, is Kaya's Guile. Don't think they're playing Rest in Peace with their Wrenn and 6s. I think what these Thoughtseizes. Flam, thank you for the 4 months. Appreciate ya. Did their Decklist pop up with MTG bot? Does anybody know? Let me see if I can find it. Do some net decking. Alright. Yeah, ton of Niv in the deck dumps. Looks like this version with all these decays. So their graveyard hate is 3 copies of Kaya's Guile in the main. No additional graveyard hate in the sideboard. Unmoored Ego is also a big problem. So I feel like I do want the Thoughtseizes to fight this. And then I probably just want to cut the Prismatic Endings. Prismatic Ending hits Wrenn and 6 to Teferi and Sprawl, which is all fine, but like I've said, like, you need your interaction to hit their graveyard hate. That's like just the most important thing. I guess I could I probably don't need 4 Solitudes, though. Maybe I'll play 2 Solitude, 2 Ending. Solitude's not that bad, though. This seems fine. Okay, on the draw. Gotta win one of the next 2. Ephemerate, 80 cards, by the way. Emissary is separate win con. It's not a very good win con in this matchup. They have a lot of answers to it. If you, yeah, I don't think that's a good plan. So usually when I want to get 2 Shocklands, it's Sacred Foundry, Watery Grave. I'm a little worried about Veil of Summer. That wasn't their sideboard. I don't think it's too reasonable to play around, though. If they Veil of Summer, I probably just won't Ephemerate. Maybe I will. I'll get the rebound Ephemerate. I get to keep the grief. Yeah, I probably should. Curse you, Veil of Summer. Oh, I get to hit the I probably get this Thoughtseize. That's right. Okay, that's way better. Okay, so then I take the second Veil of Summer, right? Maybe I don't, because if they want to cast the second Veil of Summer next turn, that's just fine, right? I should just take the Unmoored Ego. Yeah, because I'm not casting a black spell next turn. If they just want to like tap their mana, that's fine. I'd rather if I'm gonna take Veil of Summer Unmoored Ego, I'd rather them have to tap a mana as part of that process, right? So we just get it out of their hand. Yeah, and then me not getting the draw is of course huge. And then I will not get to attack with this turn though. That's okay. They play Teferi, I play Teferi in minus, and then they can decay. Ephemerate in response to the fetch would have been good. Oh, dude, yeah, that would have been sick. Man. Okay. We'll keep that line in the future. Wait, they don't bounce the Grief. Okay, I'm thrilled with that. I might bounce my own Grief with my Teferi next turn. We'll see. See what we draw. Probably better to put Yorion in the hand next turn. Although, this is like way better against Bring to Light, right? Would it have mattered? Yeah, it would. I guess it wouldn't have mattered this game because they actually had 2 Veil of Summers in hand. But if they only had 1 Veil of Summer, it would have mattered, yeah. Yeah, they fetched after Grief Resolve, which is a misplay, yeah. Just like if they make that mistake in the future. Because it's not like that common of a spot, you know? I think they have Renin 6, and they're thinking about going Renin 6, pick up a land, kill Teferi, or just decay the Teferi. Or Renin 6 ping and then save the decay and maybe not hit a land drop. I think that they should plus and decay just because they just don't have that many targets for decay in this deck. And I think if they're, you know, if it's between like missing a land drop or not, they should plus. That does seem like what they land on. Then I get to hardcast Grief, into hardcast Mulldrifter, into hardcast Archon. Hopefully. Probably get Watery Grave here. I think I'm still casting the Grief. I don't think this Thoughtseize changes that. Not even a decision. Yeah, I'm also surprised they have all these decays in their deck post board. Be pretty happy if they just decay my Grief this turn. Or Vindicate my Grief. Looks like they're casting the Vindicate. So their hand is Wooded Foothills Mystery card at the moment. So I'm not going to cast the Thoughtseizes. Definitely not very good top decks here. But Mulldrifter, draw 2. Okay, we can maybe loot away the Thoughtseizes if we feel like this is going to be a game where we just hardcast a bunch of Archons. Plus get Arid Mesa back. Renin 6 Ultimate is probably a loss for us. See if we can hit them with the Mulldrifter or not. Cool. We're going to start off with Mending here. Okay, so let's discard 1 Archon of Cruelty, 1 Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize my opponent, then cast Priest. And then I can hard cast an Archon or I can Priest. Oh, they didn't put their companion in their hand. I wonder if that's just like a bluff. That they've got gas or something. Hold. I think they might concede if they brick this turn. They drew something. Is Bring to Light? What do they Bring to Light for? Oh, what a top deck. Yeah, probably Div, right? Probably Niv, but then I get to Archon next turn if they get Niv, right? Because they can't cast Kaya's Guile after Niv. And any removal spell they find off Niv, I can unearth the priest. No, they're not bluffing Bring to Light. They definitely have it. They're just trying to figure out what to do. This doesn't feel like a bluff. Oh, they just drew Niv? Oh, they're thinking about how they wanted to tap. They put another Unmoored Ego in their hand and a General Rockerick, but only those 2 cards. Super unlucky for them to brick this hard, and they can't cast the Unmoored Ego. They're 1 mana short. Wow. Okay, let's get Archon in play. I'm 1 mana short of Mending. I can go Thoughtseize my own Archon on Earth Archon. It's just got to be the line, right? Just hardcast it. We're 1 mana short. It costs 8. Now we're insulated from a Verdict. Although I guess they could maybe go Verdict and then Unmoored Ego. You're down to 2 life though. So we can go Unmarked Grave for Priest. Yeah, if their turn next turn is top deck Supreme Verdict, Unmoored Ego your Archons, I can go Unmarked Grave for Priest, Unearth Priest, attack for 2. 5-0, baby, let's go! Oh yeah, they can't play Verdict with Giganta. I mean, they can play, there are other sweepers. There's the Boros one. But yeah, it's less likely. And I don't think we saw it in their deck list either. Okay, Omnath does gain them. Oh my gosh, how do we lose this? I'm sweating. Omnath does gain life, so my Unearth game plan has folded. How poor did humans go? It did a lot worse than it did off stream last night. I don't know what they're naming. Yeah, they despair. Oh man, that's a good choice. Despair. 5-0. Let's go. Got a long way to go to catch up with Demonic Tutors, but we're tied for 2nd place again. Oh no, we're not. Allosaurus Rider has 6 now. Tied for 3rd. Got a long race though. Coast, Ox, Fabled Passage, Titania, Allosaurus Rider. Alright, let's play again. Let's run it back. Deck's feeling really good.